When I was in college, my best friend and I would walk from his apartment to the coffee shops or bars, often amounting to 4 or 5 hours of just walking and talking together. Whether this careless existence was more of a poverty-induced necessity or for enjoyment, I really can't remember, but it was a unique sort of calm before life begins to bludgeon you more thoroughly with responsibility. It was a time in my life during which everything still felt inspired and artistic, and that wasn't just the alcohol. Magical things happen when we walk, when we slow down enough to breathe in the smaller pieces of life's chaos. I remember playing music on a rooftop at 2 a.m. with complete strangers dancing along to the songs. I remember an abandoned building that was partially destroyed, and it screamed stories of an unseen apocalypse. We even broke into a construction site and climbed a scaffold just to sit at the top and drink Shiner, while feeling like complete and total badasses. I wanted to recapture that, at least in part. See, the adventure doesn't need to be on the fringes of legality to release those euphoric friends we affectionately refer to as endorphins. Rather, I just wanted to take time away from the work I've been doing 7 days a week for the last 2 years to find a state of moving meditation. And I know someone more educated than me is screaming at their screen that movement is antithetical to proper meditation, but I kind of like that imagery. An angry monk. A monk that's angry at me. So I found a few audiobooks and podcasts, and I donned my headphones for a dipping of my proverbial and literal toes into the purposeful act of not working. I started small, maybe 30 minutes around the neighborhood, and then I came back home and I returned to the computer and kept working. I think the key is getting beyond that 1 hour mark, chasing the point that you've legitimately interfered with time that you could be making money and made a deliberate choice to do the opposite. I decided to listen to a few episodes of This American Life. I'll link them below for the curious. And I just walked until it got dark. The air is getting cooler, and light always seems to look different in the fall and winter, so for the first half of the walk, I was just appreciating that golden halo around all of the mundane parts of my neighborhood. Even the trash cans seemed ripped from a Thomas Kinkade painting. But it was around the first hour mark that I began to really pay attention to the things around me. The hidden throughway that was too small for a car that connected 2 cul-de-sacs near my home. Or the basketball goal that was set up behind a fence but its net was hanging into the paved alley, so that the kids could play on something more analogous to a court. I saw trees that smelled like my first girlfriend's perfume, Velocity by Mary Kay. I saw children acting out bloody battles with swords and bikes and Nerf guns. More importantly, I saw myself, the overworked and emotionally barren husk that remained in the wake of a 20-something that actually believed the world was beautiful. That's a thing that I used to think about, the beauty in forgotten places. I continued to walk and listen to some pretty remarkable stories on the podcast. There's a big park near my home, and I decided to make a loop around it. I watched all the families that brought their kids to the playground and the dads that were teaching a few young girls soccer fundamentals. And at about mile 3, I forgot about the work I had left to do and the bills and the upcoming meetings and the girl I was flirting with. Okay, I was still thinking about the girl, but I mostly forgot about the adult stuff, and I was able to feel the edges of calm for the first time in a long while. The walk home was euphoric, and I found myself turning off the podcast and just enjoying the silence for a while, trying to breathe in the first whispers of fall and hold on to that fleeting brush with whatever the opposite of depression is called. So I'm walking more, chasing the dragon, as it were. That first high from when I was 18 with a book of poetry and a desire to find the beautiful amongst the trash in my hometown. And it's working, kinda. So if you've been down, and I mean, haven't we all been this year? I hope you take a walk. A long one. One that takes a dedicated and not insubstantial amount of your evening away, just so you can see the sunset in places you normally only glimpse while driving 35 miles per hour in a 30 to get to the next appointment or obligation or whatever. And if you really dig it, I hope you find a construction site and bring a few beers and watch the world from a new perspective for a bit. We're here too brief a time to negate the little things. Thanks for reading or watching. I probably love you.